Hi guys, it is now 10:02 a.m. on the 19th day, I believe, on Friday. And so last night, can't I think I just ended up falling asleep. I don't remember turning on a meditation. I do know, I think I was watching just random stuff on YouTube, to be honest. I'll have to think about that. But regardless, I woke up at like 6, I think. And I turned on, maybe I did that last night. I turned on either last night or the night before. I turned on this, like, it was like, I think they're called singing bowls sounds. And then this morning, coincidentally, right, a notification on my phone was like Spotify, which me and my daughter used to listen to music, and it was like meditation bowls or something. And I was like, okay, so I just clicked on that and turned that on around the house, which I didn't know I could do until today. And I just laid in bed and listened to that, listened to the birds chirping. And I felt my body saying, I'm really tired. And I was like, I hear you. And I just, I didn't want any verbal inputs before I needed to. And a part of me was nervous about it because it was very calm. But I told myself, you're safe with calm. It's okay. And I was kind of waiting for my daughter to notice that these sounds were playing, because she was just getting ready and looking at her hair, and all of a sudden she's like, Mommy, what's that noise? And I was like, it's these like sounds. And she said it sounds like a seance, like ghosts are coming or something. It was funny, but I liked it. It was different, but it was definitely way more soothing than the crazy music in the morning. And it was kind of a compromise I'd made with my body of like, I know we are really tired. We need to get up, in this moment. So this is the compromise. And, I had told her all that stuff about making sure she's on time. I set the timer. And I also just like let it go. And and then after she left, I made sure she was at school. I just kept that music on. And I just felt my body saying, no, like, we're not jumping into the day right now. And I told myself I'd rather rest today than tomorrow, meaning I'd rather kind of, I don't know if it's relaxing. I don't know. I'm not used to this. Truly, I'm not used to this. But the facts are, I went upstairs and I lay down and I still had that stuff on. And then at some point, I turned it off. I was also listening to the birds. And then I ended up doing a healing thing. I listened to that, and that was a really cool experience. And I drank, I think, 2 cups of like just regular water, not the stuff inside. But clearly I'm very tired. I can tell. And that's okay. I'm safe to be tired. And it's a lot better feeling to be tired because I'm moving a lot of energy and evolving than to be tired because I feel stuck and it's just draining me, if that makes sense. And yes, part of me is like, we have stuff we need to do. It's like, I hear you. And I do know from one of the webinars I attended this week that if you feel really tired after, it's because your adrenaline is gone in a good way. Like you're not running on adrenaline. So you're feeling the fatigue that was always there. So I'm learning to slow down before it becomes a true necessity to slow down. And I also stumbled upon Taoism, and I loved what I've learned about that so far today, which was just one thing. And it all correlates of like the body, the chi, and then the mind. And there were a couple things I wrote down actually that came to me while I was listening to the singing bowls is you can't do happy. You don't tell someone, go do happy, right? We don't strive to do happy, we strive to be happy. And I wrote down, happy is in the being, not the doing. And we are called human beings, not human doings, which I've heard that before, but I've never heard happy is in the being, not the doing. But it makes sense because if you are happy, like if your being is happy, it doesn't matter what you do or don't do, you bring that happiness because it's in you. And then another thing I thought of is when people say, including me, say their mind is blown, right? Like, that's mind blowing, that blew my mind. It makes sense because the mind doesn't know or understand everything, right? What happens when we try to think our way out of something without taking care of our body? It does not work. The body is I think of it's like a very docile thing, but at the same time, it has a limit. And the limit isn't nearly as low as what a lot of people, do. But there is an actual limit, And like I said, I'm like a flashlight. So if I can recharge, I can keep going. But I need to recharge. We're not created. Literally, it's not possible to be up at 100% 24 hours a day. And I always say, I remind myself, even robots rust out. Like even, things need updates. They need to be plugged in. And so I'm learning to respect my body because I know what I want in life is not to feel like I'm drudging through the day, or that I'm using substances to disassociate so I can get through the day. Like, how does that lead to happiness? At least the kind that I'm looking for. So I'm looking out the window because, the trees and like birds, they just sit on a branch. So my point is, I know things are shifting. Clearly they're shifting. And it's good for me to keep learning so that my mind knows that we're not like sliding into oblivion. It's quite the opposite, you know? It's kind of like if a friend wanted to hang out and you want to hang out with a friend, but you're so exhausted that you, if you're being honest with yourself, you're not going to enjoy it. Or there's only going to be soaked to such a level you'll be able to enjoy it. And like I said, I want to optimize my life so I can maximize my joy. So I know that by at least somewhat resting today, it's going to help me be even more, present this weekend. And the reason that maybe one day isn't going to be enough of doing this is because I have never done it, right? So I'm starting to think that the times that I got really sick, like undeniably, nothing I can do about it, incapacitated, was my body's way of saying, you're not listening. You're not respecting us whatsoever. So it's a wrap, And I'll be honest, on some level, there was a sense of relief. Because it didn't matter if someone was screaming in my face to get up. When your body is that done, it's done. Not to mention, of course, saying that, like, how messed up is that person that's screaming at you when you're in a vulnerable state? But I've had it happen. And it always felt like I had to be on this treadmill going 9 miles an hour, which I could not, nor can anyone, continually do with a smile on my face. And then like, well, what's wrong? Nothing is wrong. And it's like, okay, well, something is wrong, but apparently I'm not allowed to say that, and it just kept getting faster and faster and faster and harder and more incline. And it was just like, I was never allowed to be like, that's it. I need a break, So this is me taking back that control. And I'm really tired. So I think I'm going to do a meditation now and hopefully fall asleep for a bit. And this is still massive progress for me, whether it looks like it or not. This is actually the biggest progress. Because I'm actually saying, oh, my body's really, really tired. And I don't need to do anything today. So, I do later. And last night showed me I can do my yoga and Ring Fit tonight if I need to keep that routine. So I'm really starting to learn and differentiate between when I have to be on and like holding the car up, feeling, and all the times I don't actually have to. And that it's my responsibility to protect my energy when I can. So that I can be my best self. Like right now, there's nothing wrong with me, but I'm not my best self. I'm not able to think creatively, I'm worn out. So I realize that other people probably, when they're worn out, they just relax, but I just don't know how to do that. I'm learning how to do that. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Love you guys.